Hey, you guys. I just wanted to check in and mention how I was watching the jury giving Alex Jones the shaft, $1 billion settlement to the parents of the Sandy Hook and the wives, the husbands, and the children of the Sandy Hook victims. And I just wanted to say that I'd like to see justice. You know, when my son was murdered, when Leon was murdered in 1985, he was stabbed in the heart by a pedophile. I don't like to use that word. There is no file. File means love. Pedophiles do not love children. In a monster, a child monster, a child sexual monster, hurt my children, hurt my daughters, and then murdered my son in 1985. So that's a biggie trauma. You know, that combined with my personal childhood sexual trauma. Yeah. And then whatever, hey, I just want to say that I chanted Nam Myoho Renge Kyo for 72 hours, just about straight. I had no sleep. It was the only way I could breathe. I chanted while the jury was out. The jury was out for 3 days. I mean, I don't know, maybe Friday, maybe there's a weekend, but it came back with their verdict. And then the judge went out to make his decision. He said he'd come back with his decision in a couple of days. It was a hell of a thing. I'm chanting Daimoku, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo for justice. And when we got into that courtroom, the judge was late coming in. He was like, I don't know, like a half an hour late. We were waiting for him to come in. And he came in and he apologized for being late and said that he had received a 42-page letter from that asshole that killed my son and hurt my daughters. A 42-page letter saying how he had been seduced by these children and that he was the victim. And he wrote that letter while I was chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo for justice for my children. And when that happened, the judge sentenced him to 20 years. 20 years to life for what he had done to our family. And he died in prison in 2019. So I just wanted to say that Sandy Hook reminded me of justice. There is justice, but you never get over the loss of a child. There's a name for a woman who loses her husband, the widow. There's a name for a man who loses his wife, the widower. There's a name for a child who has no parents, who's lost her parents. It's the orphan. But there is no name. There is no name for us. Those of us Uvalde, those of us of Sandy Hook, and all the other parents who have lost their children, whether individually or in mass shootings across the nation. So we must bond together as the nameless ones and find one another and seek justice for the children. And justice, final justice, the ultimate justice for the monsters who peddle the guns, the monsters who create sickness in society and then accuse of others of being sick. The monsters who divvy out our Social Security and threaten to take it away, threaten to take away our Medicare, those monsters. There's a lot to do in society. I know I'm healing as far as my own personal trauma goes, but the action that I take in society to show where there is inequity and where there is injustice And my encouraging people to get out and vote if they haven't before. And I ask those of you who are listening to me to get out people to vote. We need to end the injustices to children in this world. Let's start today. As we celebrate the victory of the billion-dollar judgments against Alex Jones and his disseminator of lies. Let's keep going. Let's keep exposing untruth and injustice wherever it lies. And continue on this march and unite together, all of us who believe in humanity, whether it be through music, through creative expression, through healing, through community connections, through family. Let's march forward to united together and change this society one by one. And I'm learning how to dialogue, so that's really exciting. Over and out.